Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 8, the mid-season premiere. The first half of Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead was amazing. I think Fear this season is really strong, and the second half continues it. Episode 8 was really good, and this season is on an absolute roll. I can't wait to talk about this episode. There is a lot that happened in this episode. So obviously, general spoiler warning in case you have not seen the episode. Big spoiler warning, that is. And then also, if you're a fan of the show, be sure to hit the subscribe button because we have a lot of Walking Dead content coming up. Obviously, Fear the Walking Dead stuff, since that's also airing right now, but also, like regular Walking Dead and any news we get about that. Season 7, season 7. I was about to say season 11, not season 7. Season 11 of The Walking Dead is right around the corner this summer, so we also have some stuff for that. So lots of Walking Dead content coming up. Be sure to subscribe if you're a fan. But let's get into this video. Alright, so episode 8, like I said, great episode. I gave the spoiler warning, so, that was the spoiler warning. So the big thing this episode is that John Dorie died. Now, this really shocked me. I'll talk more about it, a little bit later in the video. I want to go through the rest of the stuff in the episode as well. But that really shocked me, and I'll explain why when we get there. So I think a big reason why these episodes have been really good for Fear the Walking Dead, and I talked about this during my first half review, my episodes for those episodes. I talked about how these episodes keep moving along pretty quickly. There's no waiting around, there's no beating around the bush. They're just like, we have things moving along very quickly in these episodes. And even though there's a lot of character stuff, like for this episode, for example, things move along very quickly. Like we have John and Morgan and Dakota there, and then we get a call from Virginia, who already captured everybody and they're in the cell. And things are just moving very quickly. Things are at stake here. And I think that's why, the episode or these episodes are really good. And I think that also not only works for the episodes, but the story as a whole, like the whole season, because we know we have big things coming up. The whole group is captured. That is, I don't know, how much higher you can go with the stakes on that one. Like all their friends are captured there. It's really up to, Morgan now. And I know there's like Dwight and them, and we saw at the end there Alicia, but a lot of the people are now captured, and that really puts the stakes high, and they have to go, move quickly. So I think just the scenes. I think you can even pinpoint it to the way the scenes are. We have a conversation between Morgan and John, and then you get a call from, a radio call from Virginia. And then, that conversation, as good as it was, now you're sort of like on the edge of your seat waiting, like, okay, you guys have to get going, they have everyone captured. So, yeah, the episodes are really good and also benefits the season as a whole. I also think there's a lot of great set pieces in these episodes as well. Like the sequence with the Ranger was really good. When in the beginning, I'll talk about the one where the Ranger captured Morgan for a second, but even the beginning, when we heard the Rangers outside, the sound design was really good in that scene also, because like everything got quiet, you heard their footsteps, and it was really tense. So yeah, the story, I think the episodes in the season is very well written, but the individual episodes are also really well directed, which is just making the whole season really great. And then going back to the set pieces, like I said, we have scenes like where the Ranger captured Morgan and John has to go save him. Stuff like that was really great. Also the truck ride, them having to fight the walkers. And then when John had to climb over the car and, get on top and fix it on the other side. And then he was laying on his back, on the hood of the car, and Dakota was driving back. Like stuff like that. Just it had me wincing because I was so scared. The walkers were all around him. In this episode, I did say that, we know John died there at the end, which we'll get to in a minute. And the whole episode was focusing so much on John dying that I thought that he wasn't going to die. I thought he was going to make it. But again, he did die, which we'll get to in just a minute. But I also want to talk about real quickly I want to talk about the performances of this episode, because from the three main characters who we followed this episode, Dakota, Morgan, and John, all three were amazing. I mean, the scenes between Morgan and John were really well done, really entertaining to watch. John was great. Garrett Dillahunt did such a great job with him this episode, because like you can hear the pain in his voice. But I also have to say, the actress for Dakota really shined and really stood out this episode. That whole sequence from the moment she killed John, talking to John, and then talking to Morgan, such a great performance there. So I guess now that we said it, Dakota killing John, I think we can talk about that now, because yeah, I didn't see that coming. I mean, like I said a second ago, they were talking so much about John dying that I was like, okay, he's gonna survive, but then he didn't, and Dakota shot him, and I couldn't believe it. My jaw dropped. Like, that shock value was so insane. And I think this episode reminded me so much of classic Walking Dead because of that shock value. Like, when was the last time we had something like this, like so shocking out of the blue to one of the main characters now? Like, I know he got introduced in season 4, but he quickly became one of the, bigger characters in the show. And yeah, I did not expect that at all. And I think that shock value is something that has been kind of missing in The Walking Dead. As fans of the show, I think we can kind of get a good understanding of who will survive and who won't survive, or at least who will survive and then who has the potential of not surviving. Who are characters that they wouldn't kill. And I'll be honest, I seriously did not think they were going to kill John. I thought John was going to be one of these characters who was going to be on the show for a long time. And that being said, as much as I like that character, I'm not complaining. I'm not even angry, because this is what the show is, or that's what the show should be. It should be about shock. And as much as I love John, they haven't really had a major character death in a while, so I guess it kind of makes sense. And throughout the break, whenever I was making a Fear the Walking Dead video, like when a trailer came out or something like that, I would always mention they haven't really killed anyone in a long time on this show, so I wouldn't be surprised if someone does end up dying this season, one of the major characters. But never did I think it was going to be John. I seriously thought John was going to be okay, but yeah, that was really a shocker. And the thing about John's death also is that it reminded me so much of a classic Walking Dead death. And what I mean by that is a death that sort of comes out of nowhere. It's very emotional. Nick kind of comes close there, because yeah, what happened with Nick was kind of shocking also. Madison as well, but the thing about Madison is that we didn't really see her die, and we don't really even know what happens to Madison. They keep teasing Madison returning and this and that, so that shock value isn't really there for Madison. It would have been completely different if we did see her die, but we didn't. But this scene, when we actually saw John turn into a walker, that reminded me so much of classic Walking Dead. It kind of reminded me of that Merle and Daryl scene in season 3 when Merle turned into a walker and died, and Daryl found him. It kind of reminded me of that. Stuff like that, which is just really shocking on an emotional level. And that whole sequence, when John fell into the water and he picked up the photo of him and his dad. The music choice was really well. The score of this episode was also really well done. So that's what I mean. The story of the season is really good, but also the individual episodes are really well directed. So yeah, John, I'm gonna miss him a lot. He was such a great character. Garrett Dillahunt played the heck out of him. He was so great in the role. And yeah, I think they did give him a great last episode. You guys let me know in the comments down below, what did you think about that? And then at the end, we saw Morgan calling, Althea and saying that we have to get ready for a big fight. So stuff like that, stuff like that in these episodes. Really, they do a really great job of building up the hype for the future episodes. And this is just with the Virginia stuff. We still have the end is the beginning people, which I still have no clue what is going on with them. And they're really fascinating, and I can't wait to learn more about them. So very excited. If you can't tell, I'm very excited for the second half of Fear the Walking Dead. Again, like I said, this episode was great. It was a great last episode for John. It really sucks losing him, but I think sometimes the show has to do stuff like this. You guys let me know in the comments down below, What did you think about the episode? I will be making an episode 9 trailer breakdown, when the trailer comes out for that. So be sure to stay tuned by hitting the subscribe button. And again, if you're a fan of the show, be sure to subscribe. But yeah, that being said, I am going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. Again, let me know your thoughts and opinions about the episode in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Please take care, and I'll see you guys soon.